I'm not even gonna care about making myself clean up or anything. This is just for documentation. So, I'm gonna be doing that look-through ritual soon, right? I kind of just did a pretend mock ritual without actually recording it because I just felt compelled to do so since my mom wasn't home. She doesn't like sage, which is very unfortunate because I'm not going to tell her this, but her room is the most fucking active. In fact, that thing is literally on her bed. And when I say thing, I don't think I'm even talking about the one that's been following me around. But it's something else. In fact, actually, some of my friends who have known me for a few years know that I acquired a van, like a Dodge Caravan, about 5-6 years ago. And I got it for a really sweet deal. The reason why I got it for a really sweet deal, because it's like a late 90s car, and it's only got like 50,000 miles on it. And they sold it to me for $500, and it had brand new brakes and brand new tires. Why on earth would somebody do that? Well, it's because somebody blew their brains out in the back of the van. And coincidentally enough, I have obviously taken no interest in that van anymore. And my younger brother seems to be in it a lot. And he's the one that claims to see the paranormal thing or be bothered by the paranormal thing in this house more than anybody. So we did acquire it. Actually, right around when Neptune went into Pisces, funny enough, which is interesting. And so it basically said that it's alongside the apartment. There's an apartment complex that's right next door to our house. And it also said a couple of things. Where's my damn phone? A couple things came through today, but it's also Thursday, right? Yep, it's Thursday. So that a couple of them were definitely ethers. So when it started to be him, yesterday, in fact, funny enough, an ether came forward and said, "Careful, unfriendly, supposed inmate, obviously elected bird, cab, aid." So cab would be associated with the front of the van, because the middle seat in the van is actually taken out, and often enough the sliding door actually doesn't open. So Isaac hangs out, my brother hangs out in the front of the car, the cab, right? And then it said aid, and then it said bird. My mother has a bird in her room that actually has been plucking itself bald for years and has nervous anxiety and screams at random times of the day and night for no reason. Okay. And my mom's obviously been having health issues, and that's also why she's not going to be told about this, because the thing was on her bed, specifically, at the end of it. So it said to be careful, it's unfriendly, your supposed inmate is obviously the elected person. That's what someone told me yesterday. That was an ether. And obviously enough, actually, because ethers don't usually talk to me on Wednesdays. This was when the other person that was with me was holding the phone when this ether came forward. So that means that Wednesdays is the day that that person in particular has a connection with ethers. So there is a correlation between your birth chart and when you can talk to ethers. And so that's something I'm definitely going to be fleshing out. So then, as that thing was on my mom's bed, I started antagonizing it because it was pretending like it's not there, even though I could tell. It went up, the EMF went up like 10 or 15 points between a couple of inches. Yes. And I checked all the electrical stuff, and it's right where there's no electrical stuff. And I continued to be antagonistic at that point, right there. And it came forward and said clinical. My mother works at a clinic. And then it said you. So it was talking about... What? Hold on, I'm in the middle of a video. Well, I guess you can come in, whatever. Get in, here. But anyway, so it said clinical, you, and then it said domestic, intensity. In fact, I was about to start talking about you, so that's great. Intensity. And then it claimed to be a demon. And then I called it bullshit and said, sorry, there's no such thing as demons. And if you were a demon, you wouldn't have an ego, because an ego would be something where somebody feels offended and stuff. So the fact that I've talked shit to ethers before, and they don't respond to me. If I say fuck you, they just keep going about their business and telling me stuff like Dawn, scale. Like they don't care. They're not offended. So the only things that get offended are people, psychologically. So the fact that first and foremost he came forward because I was being antagonistic proves right there and then that he's not a demon. So regardless if it's a mentally deranged thing that thinks it's a demon, because that's usually what I think, or if it's pretending to be one, it's full of fucking shit. So, and then it's a demon increasingly. And then I started asking it, and I said, if you're a demon, who are your parents? I was like, who are your parents? It's like, where did you come from, demon? Where did you come from? And then I kept asking it other questions, and I'm like, or is it because you're not? Are you sure you're just not mentally fucking retarded? Or whatever? And then it said, ask me explicitly. This is when it came back again, because it left after it said increasingly. And then I said, exactly where? Because he thought that if he told me he was a demon, that it would just be done with that, and I would have been scared. So I continued to fucking antagonize him and say, no, come on, tell me, who are your parents? Is your parent Satan? Is your daddy Satan? Like, come on, tell me. If you're a demon, come tell me. And that's when he came back and said, ask me explicitly. And then I said, where did you come from? And he goes, the dark. And I'm like, oh, scary. You're fucking scary. Like, the planets that are associated with my personality were aligned with black holes when I was born. I came from the dark too, asshole. Oh, scary. And then I said, what else? Where else did you come from? And he goes, so many questions. And then he left. Then I came up here. What?
It's just Nini saying hi.
Then I came up here and got the sage, my smudge stick, and I started going, I actually had it in my mother's room. Which, funny enough, that she, again, I said that she doesn't like it. I smudged her room anyway, because he is in her room. And so, then another person came forward while I was up here, and I was doing the mock part of the Lithia ritual. And then it said yesterday, which is the person that he's referencing the stuff from yesterday. So, cab, bird, elect, obviously, inmate, supposed, unfriendly, careful. And then I said, okay. And then it said slap. And then it said stopping, respectively, deep. And then it said apartment, alongside, huge, us, outcome, signature, interior, roaming. So when it started to say us, I was in the van outside.
Yeah, actually, I was waiting for you to stop talking. I'm fairly sure, a little piece of brain matter that's left from the old guy that owned the van that blew his fucking head off. I made a joke the other day saying I'm going to take that and scrape it off and fucking give it to some fool that I don't like and make him eat it and tell him it's candy. And now all of a sudden a lot of fucking shit's happening.
Isaac, this thing is saying, careful, unfriendly, supposed inmate. Inmate would be translated to someone who fucking lives in the same dwelling as you. Okay. Roommate, inmate.
Okay.
He was talking to what's-his-face downstairs yesterday.
The tweaker?
No.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I can't say names because of privacy things. So who would be his considered inmate? That has something to do with a cab. The cab of the van. And a bird. It said inmate. Bird. Cab.
I see.
Right. And then it says today, yesterday. Stopping, respectively. Apartment alongside. What is between his room and the apartment?
Mom.
The van. And Mom. The thing is in Mom's room.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I have a full dialogue with it. 40 minutes of talking to these things. So I used the smudge stick, and it begged me to stop. So now there's gemstones all over the house. You're going to leave them where they are.
Well, of course. Why would I fuck with them? I know what.
Well, don't fucking move them.
I wasn't gonna. You gotta tell Braden that.
No, Braden knows. Braden knows that they're everywhere. And you guys cannot tell Mom.
Alright.
This thing is trying to kill Mom with a heart attack. It is. And you know what's funny?
Can we get rid of the van?
Yeah, we should. When you lock yourself in the van, he actually is manipulating you, and you're getting high in the van on top of that. So he's manipulating you, and then you come out acting all fucking psycho and go off on everybody in the house because of him. Did you know that?
No.
Yeah. And it's you and me that are fighting all the time that Mom says it's killing her. So he literally is using you to kill Mom.
Well, then let's get rid of the van. Let's fucking scrap it. Let's turn it
Yeah.
into a fucking
So
cube.
when I told you the other day, remember how I have the psychic stuff? I know you don't fucking believe in that shit. But
I do.
When I said it's your fault why mom's dying, and I didn't have any other reason to say that besides that, this is how it is. Now I know how. Because that wasn't me just being an asshole. That was the psychic thing coming out and saying that you are the reason why mom is dying. And now we know why. It's the van. Stay out of the van. I smudged the fuck out of it. Don't go in anymore. Go lock it.
I have some stuff in there that I gotta remove.
Well, go remove it.
Alright.
Because you know what the funny thing is? I find it very fascinating that you continually have issues getting locked out of the van. That is something actually trying to keep you from being in the van. Because you always seem to be able to get into the house, despite the fact that you're horrible with keys. But you keep getting locked out of the van, and somehow the key keeps coming back to me. Because something keeps telling you to get out of the fucking van, and you're still in the fucking van. So you're tormenting your girlfriend downstairs. You're apparently... Yeah, you can have one of those, by the way. And apparently, that's funny that you just pulled amethyst quartz out of your ass.
Literally.
Yeah. Yeah, you can have one. All the other people downstairs already have one. So, yeah, and what's interestingly enough, too, when I came up here with my phone on, the EMF was substantially lower up here than it is all downstairs. Meaning that my gemstones and all my burning of cleansing stuff up here has kept them away from up here.
I have a question.
What?
How bad was it in there?
She walked through your room, but that's not... she walked through your room with the thing, but there was nothing going off. But that doesn't matter, because all of the damage that thing can do is on the bottom floor. All it wants to do
Is torment.
is kill people. It wants things to die. Regardless if it's the dude in the fucking van, or if it's a shadow person that has been created from the guy in the fucking van. Or if it's, what I speculate, a mixture of your negativity plus the guy. Because you being in there, his residual depressive energy of him blowing his brains out in the back of that car would then be infused on you. And because of your Aries Mars, you would fucking, instead of coming in being depressed and shit, you'd fucking blow up on people. And you blowing up on people with Uranus in the 4th house in this house, in our chart collectively, would cause trauma on everyone in the house. So when you're feeling down, you lash out. When you lash out, you make everybody else feel unsafe. Yeah. That's respectively exactly how that translates in charts.
And it's all because of that motherfucker's...
It's partially your temper and partially him. Because those things feed off of that. Just like, people attract other troublemakers. You know how gangs work? How all the same hooligans seem to, somehow, even if they never knew each other, they somehow find each other, congregate, and they cause trouble. People are drawn to certain kinds of energies in people. So when you're being negative, or you're saying violent things, or you're, screaming and shouting insane clown posse stuff, I'm not joking. You are actually attracting those things. Did you know that?
No.
So you're attracting things that like to kill and slice people. Because it's really funny. One of the things it fucking said was slap, slice, and cut. Cut was the first thing it fucking said in Mom's room. Yeah. So, you need to have an attitude change, and that van needs to go. There's no other way to put that.
Okay.
You know that I'm not very good at being nice.
Yeah, I know. You're typically a bitch.
Who cares? I don't care. Nobody cares. That's it. Okay, so that's the gist of it. I guess, I was just trying to explain what happened. And he just made it even more colorful. So there's that. Alright, I'm gonna go.